Hello students, I am Professor Dheeraj Kumar Singh from Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sagar Group of Institutions, Sistekar, Bhopal. Dear students, today we are going to discuss some of the basic elements of gating design under the topic 3 in manufacturing processes. So let us start elements of gating design. Dear students, we can see this diagram and this diagram. Both the diagrams are somehow same, just some of the modifications are different in both the diagrams. So let us see what are the basic elements in this gating design. So first of all, we can see the upper half portion is known as cope. This is written here, cope. And the lower half portion is known as drag. Right? This whole system is known as flask or molding flask. Right? This top portion from where we will pour the molten metal is known as pouring cup or pouring basin. This trapezoidal section from which the molten metal will come from pouring cup to runner is known as down sprue. And this horizontal section from which the molten metal will come from down sprue and then it will finally reach to the mold cavity. So this horizontal section is known as runner. And this portion is known as riser. Riser is basically provided to compensate the liquid and solidification shrinkage. This middle line or center line is also known as parting line, which is the bifurcation section of cope and drag. This alloys portion is known as core. Core is basically provided in the castings to create hollow castings. And this particular section which we are seeing right now, this is our mold cavity or cast metal in cavity. Right? In similar way, we can see these things in diagram 2 too. Right? So this is our mold flask. The upper half is known as cope, the lower half is known as drag, and the reddish portion, these two reddish portions, is known as mold cavity, and core is placed here because we want some hollow castings. So that's why core is placed here. So this horizontal section is known as runner. This vertical section, trapezoidal section, is known as sprue, and the top portion from which we are pouring the molten metal is known as pouring basin or pouring cup. And all these portions are being completely filled or rammed by sand. So this portion which we are saying or moving the cursor, this portion is our sand. Right? So what is pouring basin? So first of all, we have to understand what is the role of pouring basin in elements of gating design. Pouring basin is nothing but a small funnel shaped cavity at the top of the mold into which the molten metal is poured. Pouring basin is designed to maintain constant molten metal head. Pouring basin is basically designed for constant molten metal head. Due to this, the velocity of molten metal at the top of the pouring basin is very less, or we can say negligible or zero. And slag particle will be floating on top surface of the pouring basin. So slag particles will not go down through the sprue because slag particles are very light in weight. So that's why they will be floating on the top of the pouring basin. We can also see the diagram of pouring basin in 3D picture. Here we can see this portion is our pouring basin, right? And this trapezoidal section which is connected to pouring basin and runner is known as sprue. So what is sprue? Sprue is the passage through which the molten metal from the pouring basin reaches the mold cavity. In many cases, it controls the flow of metal into the mold. So this trapezoidal section, this tapered section is our sprue. So now we move to runner. What is runner? The channel through which the molten metal is carried from the sprue to the gate. Runner is a channel from which molten metal is carried from the sprue to the gate. Means it is the middle portion of a sprue and gate. So why runner is being used? To reduce the turbulence of the molten metal. The ideal shape of the runner is trapezoidal cross section. Normally, to reduce the turbulence of the molten metal, the ideal shape of the runner is trapezoidal cross section. But to minimize the heat transfer losses, the shape of runner is circular cross section. So we can see the shape of our runner here. This is our runner. This is our runner, and these section is known as gates through which our molten metal will go into the castings. And this portion, this extended portion is also known as runner extension. This is basically used in runner so that we can take out the slag particles away from the gates or from the castings. So what is ingates? Ingate, a channel through which the molten metal enters the mold cavity. These sections is known as ingates through which our molten metal will go into the mold cavity. What are vents? A small opening in the mold to facilitate escape of air and gases. What are the vents? Vent is nothing but a small opening in the mold to facilitate escape of air so that air can get out. We can see it in this figure. Look here. This is vent. So this kind of a very minute hole is given so that our air particles will go out from the mold box. What is air aspiration effect? The low pressure region is created inside the gating elements. The atmospheric air will be trapped in low pressure regions. This effect is known as air aspiration effect. What happens when we pour the molten metal into the castings, then somehow there are low pressure regions. So outside air get trapped inside the low pressure regions. So this kind of effect is known as air aspiration effect. So to overcome the air aspiration effect, the ideal shape of the sprue is parabola. Now what is runner extension? I have already discussed. To trap the slag particles which are present in the molten metal, runners are extended away from the gate cross section. This is known as runner extension. Right? What are the objectives of gating design? Why we are creating a gating design for pouring molten metal from pouring basin, then sprue, then through runner, then ingates, then finally into the mold cavity. And why? What is the scope of riser? Why we are using riser? So what is the objective of gating design? First, we need to design the gating elements such that molten metal can be enter into the mold cavity with optimum velocity within a given time without any turbulence and mold erosion. Molten metal has to enter the mold cavity through all gating elements with full of molten metal without any air aspiration effect. Design of gating elements such that casting yield will be maximum. What is casting yield? Casting yield is the ratio of volume of useful metal divided by volume of useful metal plus volume of gating elements. So ratio of useful metal to the total molten metal found in mold is known as casting yield. Next, to minimize turbulence to avoid trapping gases into the mold. To get enough metal into the mold cavity before the metal starts to solidify. Then to avoid shrinkage. Establish the best possible temperature gradient in the solidified casting so that the shrinkage, if occurs, must be in the gating system, not in the required casting part. And last is incorporate a system for trapping the non-metallic inclusion. Non-metallic inclusion means slag particles. So now how we pour the molten metal into the mold cavity? So for this we are having gating system. So depending on the position of the gate with respect to mold cavity, there are three types of gate for filling the mold cavity. First is top gate. So we can see here in this diagram that molten metal is coming at the top of the mold cavity, right? So when it will come from top of the mold cavity, then it will strike the bottom of the mold cavity and try to erode some of the portion of the mold cavity. So it causes turbulence in the mold cavity. It is prone to form dross, favorable temperature gradient towards the gate only for ferrous alloys. Then bottom gating, we can see here that this is our sprue, and by the help of runner our molten metal is going inside the mold cavity, but it is going at the bottom of the mold cavity, so it will go smoothly here. There will be no mold erosion, right? So no mold erosion used for very deep molds. Higher pouring time causes unfavorable temperature gradients. And third one is parting line gate. So we can see our molten metal is going through the parting line into the mold cavity. So parting line gate is most widely used, easiest and most economical in preparation. And one more gate is there, step gate, used for heavy and large casting. Size of ingates are normally increased from top to bottom. So in this figure we can see this is our casting, means this is the mold cavity which is going to be take the shape of casting finally. So we can see if the molten metal come like this, then it will be top gating. If molten metal will come like this, means from the parting line, then it will be parting gating. And when the molten metal will come from the bottom of the casting, right, it will come to the bottom of the casting, then it will be known as bottom gating. Here also we can say in this diagram, this is our pouring basin, this is our sprue, and this is the mold cavity. So this is simple vertical gating or top gating. And in this diagram we can see this is our pouring basin, this is our sprue, this is sprue base well, this is runner, and this is finally our mold cavity, right? If we want to install a riser, then we can keep a riser for solid shrinkage here. So this is bottom gating, because molten metal is coming at the bottom of the mold cavity. So that's all for today's class, dear students. Thank you.